a 2, a 3, a 4.
We are Movie Menu Reviews. Welcome to your Supersonic Fantasy Podcast. On today's menu, we'll be reviewing Fantasy Island and Sonic the Hedgehog. Welcome, everyone. I'm Dan the Man Muñoz, host of Movie Menu Reviews, your weekly movie news and reviews podcast, live on Facebook.
Yeah, we are.
I'm still there under the weather, so sorry if I end up coughing or my voice is a hoarse. My apologies.
Your voice is a horse?
Yes.
Of course.
You sound sexy.
A horse?
Someone I'm allergic to is here, is our special correspondent, Rigo Espinoza.
Rigo. Hey, guys. What's
Thank you so
up?
much for being here,
Hey.
Rigo. We greatly appreciate that you
you,
came on board, even though you only saw one movie. No,
I'm sorry.
I know. You had one job. Well, actually, you had two jobs. Watch two movies.
We can't
and
blame
you
Rigo
failed both of them.
because also here is my co-host Mike Stan, who is very not reliable sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes?
Why are you guys getting mad at me? Mike saw the wrong movie. He actually went to the movies today.
I did.
Yeah.
No, they told.
Hopefully, someone who saw the right movie is our senior panelist co-host Z.
I regrettably
you were
watched
supposed to watch-
both.
You were supposed to watch both movies.
Yep, you were. And actually, even that, Mike had said he's watched both movies.
I did not.
Are you sure it's not in the text?
I did not watch Fantasy Island
We do
as
have
agreed.
Oh, no. I said that Rigo was going to watch both.
Oh yes.
You had said that he was going to watch both.
That's correct.
He did
But
not.
He did not. He
Oops.
couldn't. That's it. That's okay. He's here. That's what matters.
Sure. We'll go with that. If you are watching us live, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
On our Facebook page, we go live. Or you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you so much. We appreciate it as well. All right, so we got some movie news to cover, so let's go ahead and get started with that.
Sure.
Several trailers have been released this week that we want to cover. The first being the reveal of the new Batman suit by Robert Pattinson, who will be wearing it. The Batman.
So it's not a trailer. It's a screen. It's a costume.
It's a reveal.
Footage.
It's just a reveal.
I know. The goal is to say it's a reveal, but it's like costume footage, right? Like this is. Are they sure locked in with this design? Because if yes, then I've got notes.
Yes. Yeah. It's directed by Matt Reeves, who did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. And if you notice the bat symbol on the suit. It's been said that is from the gun that killed Bruce Wayne's parents.
Yes. I believe
what did you guys think
Robert
about
Pattinson had actually come out and said that was the purpose of the costume itself.
Yeah. What did you guys think about that? About the whole trailer for Batman reveal, and this the whole concept of them doing it in general. Do you think that's a cool thing for them to do?
I mean, I think that there's an audience for a new Batman. I think that we've all kind of been able to reflect on Zack Snyder's failed attempt at it. Although Ben Affleck was really awesome as far as physicality, but he wasn't a good Bruce Wayne, and I think that's kind of what they're going with. Robert Pattinson being the Batman in this is going to be not a darker Batman like, say, Ben Affleck tried constructing, but a Batman that is just beginning.
You sound like Deadpool right now. You're so dark. Don't you belong on DC?
Yeah, but he's going to be like a younger version of Batman, a more detective focus. So it makes sense as to why he's wearing the guns as the bat sigil. The other real fun part is that the sigil itself is not a bat. But it's actually it's not at completing the whole bat symbol itself, and that's intentional because the very first appearance of Batman, he didn't have the bat head on his chest. It was actually just a broken bat like that. So I think that's really cool to watch. I think I'm a little problematic with the collar. He's got a collar on his in the costume, which is kind of weird. But I think otherwise it looks fine. I think Robert Pattinson's going to make a fantastic looking Batman, and I think that he's going to kick some ass.
Yeah, I agree. I think people are still
are people being
talking
snippy
shit
about this?
about Twilight and all that.
Oh, well,
I think he's come into his own acting career where he has done very independent films to get over that lack of range that people put him in.
No, yeah,
Twilight, but he has such range. So.
You know who are the people who hate this, or people who hate Robert Pattinson, or people who can't get over stuff. That's who people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, and they can't get
welcome
over
to
shit.
America.
But they can't get over shit because you know what? And I stand by this. Twilight was a good movie. He was a great actor, and he still is a great actor. He's never changed from range. He's always been.
Movie
really
Mini
good.
Podcast does not agree with his point on Twilight. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what
Thank
Twilight do you think was like his movie? Like the first one or the whole series in general?
I think he tried his best, and I think the story is quirky on its own feet. It's ridiculous. They're bad movies, but they're bad with intentionality. And I think that the one thing that a good actor can do was play camp well, and I think he does a good job. Go back and watch his movies. He is knowingly playing camp.
Well, also though, so I think this suit looks great. I also agree about the color; it's a little weird, but. Them releasing it with red lighting, it just looked like a Daredevil reveal suit.
It does,
almost,
which is kind of funny because Daredevil is essentially the Batman of the universe, of Marvel's universe. So it's funny that they would utilize that stylistically.
I mean, there's multiple characters that are like, go on.
Yeah, well,
I kind of found it kind of unnecessary. Like, I don't want to see a suit reveal. I don't want to see anything until the movie comes out.
I agree with you on that, Rigo.
So I'm like,
why do this?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
What was the point? Like I get it. It gets people talking. It keeps the movie in people's minds.
Yeah.
But to me, it wasn't something where I'm saying like, oh my God, I can't wait. I'm just, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you know why they revealed it?
Why?
Because Joker just won the Academy Award. And
That's
they
true.
needed to get on the heels of that and show that they're making an equally dark Batman, and so that's why they had to reveal this. I'm sure that it was out of the hands of Matt Reeves. He's been working on it in secret. Why would he reveal it now?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Mike, did you have any thoughts on it?
I mean, no, I don't.
Thank you. Mike.
I agree with Rigo. It kind of it doesn't. It feels like it's unofficial footage. It wasn't really.
It feels like a leak, right?
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it doesn't make me more excited about it. I would prefer to just see a trailer.
Yeah.
So,
Same here.
but I'm not against it, and
Yeah.
I'm not against. I'm not against him playing Batman.
Yeah.
So
I think overall what I like about the costume is that it looks a lot like Arkham, the Arkham Asylum video games.
Right, yeah.
And I think that that's the kind of armor that we've all been wishing and hoping, a more tactical.
Well, we got a snippet of it during Batman v Superman during the whole Batman saving Martha scene.
No.
Until the Martha scene happened.
That was not a tactical.
Yeah.
That was more. That was the Dark Knight Returns thing. I don't want to get too
No, I
nerd,
don't
but
think
that
so.
was
It was almost like playing the video game, watching him take those thugs down. It was almost similar.
Oh! You mean the fighting style? Yes,
Yes.
the fighting style was definitely Batman, the Arkham Asylum for sure. But I'm saying like the costume itself.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, remember this is costume footage we're talking about. But yes, anyways, the point is, I agree with Rigo on this. This was unneeded. This felt like a teaser of a teaser. And I don't need that.
I disagree because with all
Give
this,
me the movie, guys.
Yes.
there's a lot of people who hate Robert Pattinson, B are upset that they get a different cast because the DCEU or whatever they're calling themselves now cast is no longer having Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yes.
And all these changes, they are doing some PR to showcase that they are doing the Batman.
Yeah.
So
in response to that, get over it and get over it.
Yeah.
who are you talking to?
To the
get over it?
audience.
Because they're not going to get over it.
I'm a giant Batman fact. Get over it.
It's just
everyone just got over it because he just sits there right now.
It's just unnecessary.
world has been cured.
Like, we're all here again. It feels like the Dark Knight,
the
right?
thing is-
The Dark Knight all over again.
This is how I feel about
Heath
marketing
Ledger.
stuff. If it's unnecessary to you, then it was not meant for you.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I can dig that.
So who was it meant for, Dan?
People who are not getting over it, people who have questions or are worried about the Batman.
If they
coming
have
out.
questions, they gotta
So-
wait like everyone else. Like what was the whole point
What's
of
the
this?
because
rush, guys?
everyone is
Yeah.
loving this image, there's been positive feedback. People are enjoying it. So I feel like they did a good job releasing it.
Do you think this was like a Sonic the Hedgehog kind of situation? And not to tie it back to the story, but
no, because
like to test whether or not audiences will be okay with it?
Maybe. Yeah.
So so we might see the collar, and that's cool. I think if that's the case, I will agree. This is a good idea. Release it, get some fan feedback. TV shows do it all the time. But if it's not, if this is like the
especially after, I mean, we enjoyed Birds of Prey, but it didn't make that much money as it should have been.
No, but
they really want to like double down. And especially since Joker came out, and Joker was a huge success, it's all within the same universe. They don't want the Batman to bomb as Birds of Prey did.
You said same universe. It's not in the.
No. Like in the comics, same universe is what I meant. Sorry.
Okay.
It's because the Joker, Harley Quinn, and Batman, right? They're all in the comics, but Harley Quinn didn't make it so well. Joker did. So now the next one is the Batman with Robert Pattinson, which is kind of a stretch or a risk in this.
I would say it's a risk, but
in its own right. So for them to release this, I feel like it's like a putting your foot in the pool to see if it's cold or hot to see what's going on.
Okay, all right.
So that's what I think.
I can dig that.
Mike, do you agree with me? Yes.
Yeah, I do, and I understand what you mean, especially as soon as you guys mentioned the whole Sonic thing. I was like, yeah, that's right. You know, there's this whole built-in fan base, and if they don't want to piss everybody off too late in the game, and that'll be super expensive.
Well, and
so
it's
that's
like
a good point.
And the movie is due to release in June 25th, 2021. So we have a long time. So I'm ideally hoping that this was just simply released by Matt Reeves to say, hey, this is what I'm working on. Everyone who's read the script loves it, but here's a visual of what we're working on.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Agreed.
All right.
So let's move on to the next trailer that was released. It is The Green Knight, which is directed by David Lowery. So the synopsis of this is it's a fantasy adventure based on an Arthurian legend. The Green Knight tells the story of Sir Gawain, played by Dev Patel, who is King Arthur's reckless and headstrong nephew, who embarks on a quest to confront the Green Knight, a gigantic green-skinned stranger.
Can we just say how awesome Dev Patel is?
Yeah, absolutely.
He has been like stealing roles. I mean, listen, white supremacists. He's been stealing roles of white men. But he's an amazing actor, and I think that
I know, and he's. I mean, it makes me so happy because one of my favorite movies is Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just love that film so much. So to see him continue to grow and get all this recognition is amazing. I'm so happy for him.
I have a theory about his fame. I think it's just correlated with his beautiful beard. He's got an amazing looking beard.
And his hair.
And his hair, dude. His hair is awesome.
I don't know, because I think he was pretty awesome pre-beard as well. So it's hard to. I mean, I guess.
But during Lion, when everyone. Everyone was like, when did Dev Patel become hot and all that? So
the beard got a nomination from the Oscars. Like that's how great it was. But honestly, this looks really fun. I think any retelling of Arthurian legend sounds fun.
Now the director, you might find interesting. He directed Pete's Dragon, and he directed Ain't Them Body Saints,
and The Ghost Story,
and Ghost Story, and The Old Man and the Gun with Robert Redford, which had received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor. So, what did you guys think of the trailer itself? I mean, for me, it looks visually stunning.
It looks amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
It looks like an epic fantasy film, which I love, and I don't feel like we get so much anymore. I
haven't seen I haven't been excited about something like that since Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, not The Hobbit. Lord of the Rings specifically.
Right.
It's good to specify that. So. I like it, and I think that I've seen most of his films. They have been very underwhelming. Even A Ghost Story, which I kind of liked, but it was just okay. So I think that they finally, it's A24, right?
Right.
A24 just said, here's a blank check. Be yourself and be crazy. And this looks amazing. And I think that,
and this looks like it belongs on A24's filmography.
Yeah. When I was looking at it, I was like, that doesn't seem like I failed to think about which director really reminded me of. I think if anything, it reminded me of the director who did Ex Machina, just like this very trippy
Alex Garland.
Yeah, Alex Garland kind of like style.
Because I also thought like Robert Eggers a little bit.
Yeah,
from The Witch. or The Witch.
Good point.
And I would have accepted any of those. And just by its own visual storytelling, I'm excited to watch it, even though it might be a bad movie. And I'll repeat this again.
Right.
A good director making a bad movie is still a very good movie. And so this just looks like a very visually appealing movie, unlike our next trailer.
Let's hope it's not.
We'll get into it.
Let's hope it's not like a Zack Snyder. Because you know what? I will say Zack Snyder can film a beautiful film. But it just lacks story, it lacks substance, but it's beautiful. And I'm hoping that this film doesn't fall in that trope where it looks visually stunning, but the story is like, so
just like that, just that noise. Yeah, okay. Right.
Which is like The Lighthouse. If you ever saw The Lighthouse,
that's funny. Yeah.
I have the best hopes. Rigo, what did you think?
I thought it was cool. It looks pretty cool. I didn't know anything about this movie. I still kind of don't know anything about this movie.
And
but
you don't
I
need to
watch it. Yeah. See, something like the Batman should have done. It got me excited. The Batman trailer thing did not get me excited.
Well, you got to wait 2 years for the movie to come out.
That is true.
Oh, it comes out 2021.
That's too long.
All right, so the next trailer that came out, and our final trailer that we're going to discuss is The French Dispatch, directed by Wes Anderson, which it seems like it's based around this like newspaper, and it seems like there's different vignettes in this film written by different people, but
different stories.
The different stories. So there's a story by Roman Coppola, Hugo Guinness, Jason Schwartzman, and the screenplay is also by Wes Anderson. So
I was going to say it's not written by them, right? They're written. Oh, they are written. Their stories by, but he wrote.
But he wrote the
whole screenplay. Okay,
but it seems like it's like 4 rooms almost.
Good reference.
In the fact that it's different timelines within that surround stories that the French Dispatch has covered.
Yes.
Now there's an all-star cast in this film, and I am a huge Wes Anderson fan.
You are,
and I am looking forward to it. I think it looks fun. It looks great. I like the style. Bill Murray's in it again, so I'm glad that they're teaming up. Jason Schwartzman is in there, so that's fun as well. What did you guys think of the trailer for The French Dispatch? Mike, I'll go with you because you're.
It looks great. I'm excited about it as well. I remember seeing. I did miss Isle of Dogs, unfortunately, but
good.
I know it looked great, but I did see the Grand Budapest Hotel, which was super fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to this.
I feel like Rigo and I are like the hate corner over here.
I think I'm not the hate corner. I'm just wondering, like, do all his movies take place like in the same place?
Yes,
they are.
Basically.
They are a cinematic universe.
What is that one hotel movie?
The Budapest Hotel.
Budapest, yeah.
But the thing is, though, with every film that Wes Anderson does, his like vision grows bigger and bigger and bigger with each one.
Does it?
Look at Rushmore. And that is such a tiny small movie compared to what this movie is, The French Dispatch.
It's like his vision gets clearer each time, right? And the style gets more distinct.
It does, and I find that so fun to go on the journey with him.
I agree,
and see his style grow and be the same, but grow as well. Yeah, and be quirky.
Yeah, and in the trailer, it seems like he's putting in more of the camp or more of his humor in it, which looks really fun. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I mean, it looks like a Wes Anderson film. Now, I don't want to knock Wes Anderson, and we'll talk about it when we review it, but it does look like, when I just saw the trailer and I had seen it before watching it tonight, it looked like a Wes Anderson film, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll be interested in watching it, but I'm not going to be driving emphatically to watch this movie. It just looks like a Wes Anderson film, and I disagree with you on the I think his storytelling gets smaller, but his visuals get bigger, and I think that's what makes him such a great auteur. He does have a visual style that is his own. You can put all his movies back to back and get yourself a cinematic universe, like Rigo was saying, and I think that is wonderful. I think that's amazing. But it's not for me, and that's the reason why it doesn't draw me in as much.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what do you mean by his stories get smaller?
They become more sentimental, and it's like he is more human in storytelling because he's talking about relationships, and so they become smaller. But the visuals are big and bombastic because he's getting a huge.
I don't think they get smaller. I think the stories have always been the same because it always revolves around like some type of love.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I mean. Small, right? Like they're really small.
I think they stay the same, but but I agree that the visuals get bigger. I don't think the stories stay smaller. I just think I think it's consistent. I think it's consistent with the storytelling that it stays the same.
So consistency and small could be relative to each other. But yes, okay, continue.
But yes, the scale that the films are in are bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's what I meant by it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to all 3 films, so I cannot wait. I hope you guys are. Let us know what you guys think about the Batman trailer, suit reveal, as well as the Green Knight, as well as the French Dispatch by Wes Anderson. You guys let us know. Are you guys excited for those films? Are you guys not? Are you like Rigo? Who cares? Just watch the movie. Let us know.
No, well, I'm not like that about all the movies.
You are about all the movies. No, you're about. No.
I'm just saying. Wes Anderson just looks like a Timothy Chalamet. Like
It does, right?
Like, I was like, this dude is going to be in this movie, and then he just shows up. I was like, yeah.
I kind of agree with you, man. Like, as soon as I saw Timothy Chalamet, I was like, I bet you Wes Anderson is having a wet dream about this guy right now, because he is going to be in that movie, and sure enough, so is Saoirse Ronan, and there you go.
So I'm like, I kind of hate this movie now.
Why you're such a hater? Wow.
I just don't know. I just find his face annoying.
That's always that's weird. That's a weird comment to make about not liking someone.
It's not weird.
It is very weird.
It just I love Little Women. I didn't love him in Little Women.
Wow. All right, let's move
on.
on.
Pick anyone else.
We'll move on to the movie review. All right, so the first movie reviewing, which I will be hosting.
Yay!
Oh no, I will not be hosting. I thought hosting these over to Mike, but I'll go. I'll cover the story first.
Okay.
So the movie reviewing is Fantasy Island, directed by Jeff Wadlow, written by Julian Jacobs and Christopher Roach. Here's the plot: a horror adaptation of the popular 70s TV show about a magical Ireland resort, starring Lucy Hale, Maggie Q, Portia Doubleday, Charlotte McKinney, Michael Pena, Ryan Hansen, Jimmy O. Yang, and Austin Stowell. All right. So I did not see this film, so I'm going to toss the hosting duties over to Mike.
Sure. All right. So depending on your spoiler-free review, I will decide if this movie is worth a dine-in, watch it in theaters, take out and watch it at home, or leftovers, get murdered by your fantasy. I'm assuming. All right. Now Rigo, as our guest, he can win a point. Dan and Z, they're banned from getting any points.
So let's see whether or not we can.
Oh wait, I'm so sorry. Rigo didn't see this.
I didn't see
He
this
is co-hosting this with me. I'm sorry, Rigo. You can't.
Wait, I don't get a point.
Hey, Rigo, what do you think of this movie, Rigo?
Rigo did not see this.
I didn't want to get out of bed to watch it, so that should tell you a lot.
He was afraid of being murdered by his fantasy, so he stayed in bed.
Well,
and enjoyed his fantasy.
In all due defense,
it's like dine in, watch in theaters, take out, wait, watch at home, or leftovers, stay in bed. So Rigo will be co-hosting this with me, and he will decide along with me if who would get the invisible points,
okay,
or imaginary points.
All right.
So I will go ahead and
the other podcast, but the points don't matter.
Yes.
I just want to rip that off of Whose Line Is It?
Whose line is it? That's good. That's good.
I will start this off with Dan. So how do you rate this movie?
I'll give it a takeout.
Takeout. Okay.
It was a fun premise. It's not like anything worth. Obviously, it came out in February. It's Fantasy Island. It's a horror adaptation. There's the storylines of the fantasy. Some of them are really interesting. I really enjoyed Maggie Q's character a lot, and I think she's the reason why it's a takeout for me.
Okay.
And I mean that in the good way.
Without her, it would have been a
leftovers, right?
Gotcha.
Everyone else, it was okay. But there's like Kim Coles is in this movie. Michael Rooker's in this movie as well. And there's some fun
so
stuff
glad
going on.
you're just naming actors as your reason as to they're
fun.
You enjoyed them showing up. You're just like, oh, cool, they cameoed.
Yeah, they cameoed. They were good.
Was Timothy Chalamet in this movie?
He was actually.
He was wearing a mask, actually.
And Saoirse Ronan too.
Yeah.
That was one of the fantasies.
That was one of the fantasies.
Z, how do you rate this movie?
This is without a doubt a leftovers. This movie, right. I forgot it as soon as I walked out of the theater. It was an unenjoyable. I mean, okay, not fair to say. It was enjoyable 2/3 of the way through, going like, oh, okay, this is interesting what they're playing with. And then there's a moment in which I can tell that the writers had pit themselves into a hole, and because of that, they had to pull off the stupidest, most asinine plot twist you could ever think about, which doesn't make any sense logically for the movie itself. And because of that, I literally went, "Oh, you!"
I like the mechanics. I also like the mechanics of the island and how it works.
Yes, I like them too on the TV show called Lost, and it actually does feel
Fantasy
like
Island came out before Lost. Thank you very much.
No, but the whole premise of what they're selling is Lost in its effect, and
I didn't see
to
Lost,
to the point that there's a fucking cave of wonders, just like in Lost. Like everything about this ending of this movie, and I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but literally, you can write this movie, with a crayon, because that's how this movie was written. It was a great cast. I'll agree with Dan on that. It was actually quite fun to watch these actors try to play things that were, in nobody's range. But otherwise than that, honestly, like just as a point of reference, Dickie from Veronica Mars comes out in this movie.
Yeah, he was.
He was Dickie in this movie.
No, he was no. No, it wasn't. It was not Dickie. His name was Dick, not Dickie. Dick, and he was actually like nice. He's a dick in Veronica Mars. Dick is a dick in Veronica Mars. He was nice in this movie.
All right, whatever. But the point still is, this movie sucked.
No, got it. No, I feel like there was some fun moments.
Yes, absolutely. Which you'll forget right away.
Which is fun to watch. I feel like it'd be fun to watch like on Netflix or somewhere at home.
Yes.
Not. I don't think this movie is worth. Leftovers, like avoid it completely. I think there's some good stuff in there. And
yeah. What good stuff was in there for you, Dan?
I really enjoyed the direction. Actually, I liked how the island worked.
I like how the island was filmed. Yeah,
it was good cinematography. The cinematography was really nice.
Yeah,
and the locations of everything. But I also like the storylines between some of the fantasies. Now there is a twist at the end. That is kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
Okay. But I don't think. It
didn't ruin the movie for you.
It kind of made the movie.
It ruined it, man.
No, it didn't ruin it.
It was so bad.
It made the movie more comical.
Yeah,
but
unintentionally comical.
But Maggie Q's storyline, I felt like is really strong.
Which one? She had two, and that's the problem with this movie, is that it really didn't focus on what it wanted to tell. That's the big problem for me in this movie, is that it just felt like its storytelling was written in a way that they didn't know what they wanted to say in this movie. So they wrote out several plot lines. They didn't actually understand what the mechanics were for the island until the very end of the movie. And then by the end of the movie, you're like, and surprise,
honestly, I would have felt like, because now I didn't really watch Fantasy Island growing up.
Nobody. It's a 70s TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, reruns, right? Yeah. But I felt like this whole movie could have been into a TV show. Like each fantasy could have been its own episode.
That makes sense.
And then the ending could have been like the tie-in season finale.
Yeah,
so it does feel like it's very squeezed in.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I feel like once... if the season is fun, even though they kind of not land the season finale, which I guess is a Game of Thrones thing, I still enjoyed the journey going forward.
I got you.
It's not a Game of Thrones thing, but yes, I understand.
Because the season 8.
Yes, you got to stick the landing. Yeah,
right.
So
I mean, they didn't stick the landing 100%, but I feel like it was still a decent.
Out of percentages, what do you feel like was the percentage it landed its finale?
I would say like 40%.
Exactly. Would you forgive this TV show if it was like it was?
I would watch season 2 because of how it ended completely.
Yeah. Okay.
I would watch season 2. So the very end, the last 10 minutes of the movie,
was terrible.
I was like, no. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like I would want to watch the next.
Okay, to see where it would lead to next.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you realize what it was, and you're like,
also,
whatever.
I will say, I don't think this is a spoiler. But because this is our first introduction to the movie of the Fantasy Island, it's like kind of like a prequel.
I was just about to ask Dan if a sequel came out, would you watch it?
I think I would.
Okay,
we're gonna hold you to that.
All right.
I think I would.
So very specific. You have to watch it now.
Okay, I'll watch it. I'll watch it at home.
No.
I'll watch it at home. The sequel.
Now, for you specifically, Z.
Yes.
You had. So it sounds like there's that this film is jam-packed with storylines. So did it make the film too bloated to where you couldn't like care for any one character in particular?
I think that
for every one story or plot in particular.
Yeah, I agree with Dan that the Maggie Q storyline, the initial storyline, was fabulous, and I think that if it focused on Maggie Q's story alone and just it was that story and just been like, oh, what would happen if this scenario played out? And, that's kind of the premise of the Fantasy Island, is that you have to play the scenarios out. None of it would have rearranged itself with the other storylines.
I also I did enjoy the army story too.
So was there
for the most part?
For the most part, yeah.
Was there a central character in this, or is it really just more ensemble?
Well,
piece?
you're led to believe.
No, don't say that. But the point is, the main character, the central character,
you're led to believe that it is an ensemble piece.
And Rigo, feel free to chime in if you got any questions for Dan or Z.
Yeah. No,
as well.
Clearly, nobody saw the TV show. I just remember the guy always introducing somebody.
Oh, okay.
And he had a little person.
Oh, so
with him.
David, Michael Pena.
Was there a little person?
I was going to say Michael Pena is the lead of this movie.
Oh, gotcha.
But he kind of plays the narrator in the same way that Mr. Rourke does from the TV show. Mm-hmm. And so you do get it, and there is also another storyline behind him.
Yeah,
again,
it's supposed to be like a little thing.
If you've watched Lost, if you've watched Lost, man, it's literally the same character.
See, that's the thing, though. I only watched the first season of Lost.
Then get to it and finish watching
so this
the
movie
series.
didn't do that. I wasn't like, oh, this is a Lost ripoff because I didn't see Lost.
And you're lesser for it. You should watch it.
I know this is a terrible question, but does somebody say look past the plane?
Yes.
Well, they show it in the commercial.
It's in the commercial.
Or the trailer, I should say.
Okay, I totally missed it.
It's a woman. It's a woman that comes out and she runs because there's a plane coming.
Yeah,
she's like,
but even worse, it gets far worse than that.
Okay. I don't think so.
It gets
I don't think so. I think
far worse than that.
I liked it. It
was so bad.
No. I liked it.
Dan, if you liked it so much, we're gonna make sure to arrange a tattoo situation for you.
No.
But shut up. You did not like it.
It was funny. It was funny, and I enjoyed it. And I actually liked the character.
But it's not supposed to be funny, though. It's supposed to be
no. It's like a bro-y thing. It's funny. It's that part is supposed to be funny.
So here's the other thing, Mike, that really just doesn't work for me is because Rigo just stumbled on it too. It's not meant to be funny. This movie was not sold as a comedy.
Okay,
it was sold.
Every horror movie has comedy in it.
Of course, and we can write a dissertation on that, Dan. But this movie was intended to be this horror Valentine's Day movie, and everything about it is cut at the knees because this film is PG-13.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. And how is if
there isn't,
if there's gore,
it's
and
cut
how
away.
Is it?
There's nothing.
There's no gore, but there is like supernatural elements into this.
Oh, interesting.
Which is cool.
No, okay. I'm assuming.
I like the supernatural elements where like
I'm assuming that I'm assuming that ties into spoilers as well.
It does.
Yeah.
But the point.
I did like it, and then there was like like Z mentioned, there's a cave. And there was like some creepy moments in the cave as well, which I did enjoy as well.
Did you get scared at all?
No, but I enjoyed it though.
And that's.
I thought not that I got scared because I'm not under 13.
Were there?
I did think it like visually.
Did you think this movie
cool.
was made for a 13-year-old audience?
Well, it is PG-13. Right?
That doesn't mean anything. No, that means absolutely nothing.
It does.
That means only whether or not the film wants to be marketed to a wider audience. That's all PG-13. I'm asking you a question. Do you feel like this movie was meant for a 13-year-old audience?
I feel like it was meant for the teenage audience. This is like a teenage reinterpretation for Fantasy Island for a new generation because
And don't you feel like you would have preferred rated R?
No, because I like teenage stuff. So even though I'm not a teenager,
okay.
I still enjoy
I got
teen stuff going on and teen horror movies, stuff like that. So it's fine.
So of course, so without a doubt.
But
this movie lacks because it was not meant for. It was not made for the right audience.
It was not a mature film at all.
Gotcha.
And there's really not much in this movie that's mature at all.
Yeah, there's there's aside from one story,
except for Maggie
Q story. This film feels like it was made for adolescents.
Actually, I would love to have if this would have been a dine-in if it would have been just Maggie Q story.
Is there anything you can say about Maggie Q's story that won't be spoilers?
In the trailer,
yeah,
and
you can say it.
Yeah, because they show a little girl
Oh, yeah.
And
That she had died and she's
No.
resurrected.
Well, I'm not gonna say because I did initially think that
in the
she
trailer
lost,
they kind
We thought that, but that's not.
but there's more to it. But yeah, so there's this little girl and there's all this other stuff going on about her personal life.
Okay.
And that you see unravel. And you see her reaction to it, and it's really interesting to watch.
So it's heavier than the other stories that are in it.
Yes, it's really like her storyline is not superficial like everyone else.
No,
is.
yeah. Hers is actually genuinely
But even
interesting.
Mr. Rooker went to her and was like, "Your fantasy is a challenge, and I am willing to accept that challenge because." Most people's fantasies are sexual stuff, and her fantasy was not.
And I would say that probably that story itself felt more like the TV show than it did for like the rest of the movie. And that's what I mean. Is like, and even at that, like even the secondary storyline that goes from Maggie Q's character was a way more interesting story that I think that could have had a really great moral discussion.
Well, the whole thing with that yeah,
but it doesn't focus on it.
The second, so she does have two. The second one is a tie-in, or not tie-in. It's a wrap up of the islands of the island, I should say.
Gotcha.
But the first one, it's more of a mind fuck, which I feel like would be an interesting, like if they would have done Fantasy Island again, like I did, like a TV show, that would be a great. Because it's very Twilight Zone-y. It's very outer.
It's like
outer limits.
Yeah.
It's
like
very Lost.
It's
in
like
fact,
very, very heavy. So like Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
No. It's Lost. That happens in Lost.
Oh, okay. So
where characters run into each other in the past, that's all Lost.
Got you. Okay. So I think I heard enough. I'm gonna ask Rigo to give.
Don't ask me.
Do it, Rigo. Do it.
There we go.
Well, just by hearing both arguments, Dan, you put up a pretty good argument. I'm kind of interested in seeing the Maggie Q story for myself, but I'm still gonna go with my gut feeling and give us a Leftovers.
Wow!
Surprise!
Thank you, Rigo. Thank you.
It is a Leftovers. I'm gonna go.
Mike, what would you have given it if you would have?
Rigo's. There's no.
I mean, Mike's gonna go watch it anyway.
No, there's no in between to take out in Leftovers. So, I would probably still watch it, but just wait.
Eat a moldy apple.
I'll probably give it a takeout.
Okay.
But we'll go with Leftovers.
All right.
So we give Fantasy Island Leftovers. Let's move on to the next movie review.
Movie menu.
And Mike, I am still in the hosting duties back from you and from Rigo because I have not seen this film because the movie we're reviewing is Sonic the Hedgehog, directed by Jeff Fowler, the second Jeff director of the week, written by Patrick Casey, Joss Miller, based on the Sega company video game Sonic the Hedgehog. Here's the plot. After discovering a small blue fast hedgehog, a small town police officer must help it defeat an evil genius who wants to do experiments on it. Starring Ben Schwartz, James Marsden, and Jim Carrey. All right, guys. Depending on your spoiler-free review, I would decide this movie is worth the dining and watching in theaters, take out, way to watch it at home, or Leftovers. Run so fast that you end up exploding. Whatever that means.
Okay.
Now, whoever wins, which is Rigo, now you can earn a point, Rigo. Which I'm sure you already have like 100 points.
I do.
But it's okay because you're our intern and nobody cares.
He's not an intern, he's the correspondent.
He's a correspondent, which means you don't...
Which means nothing, really. Just like the points, the titles mean nothing. So Rigo, you can earn a point, and if you have up to 10 points, you could cash it in for a segment of your own that's movie-related or something from... a place down the street where you could get like horchata, torta, Jamaica, whatever.
Some of Mike's famous coffee.
I'm just kidding.
Is it? You guys don't dig it? That's okay. That's okay. I'm working on my coffee skills.
Oh, God.
No, thank you. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding, Mike. I appreciate it.
You jerk.
So let's go ahead and rate this film. Rigo, as our special correspondent, and Gus, go ahead and rate this film first.
As a hardcore Sonic player, I actually played the original when it first came out, and I've played every game since. I was really worried about this movie, but after watching it and going in with no expectations, it's definitely a dine-in.
Ding, ding, ding,
Really?
ding, 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 ding.
And you give Fantasy Island leftovers?
Because it sucked.
Oh, gosh.
I think if you watch both movies back to back, you'll agree with me.
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
Is that-
you are so right about that, Rigo.
Z.
Thank you, because I feel like I've been backing off of you. I completely agree. This movie is definitely, when you watch Fantasy Island, you watch this one next, you're like, oh, okay, that's a much better movie. Clearly, I would say this movie's a takeout, but I agree with Rigo. This movie's a dine-in if you're a huge fan, because I was in an audience full of kids and adults who clearly were.
What kids nowadays have played Sonic the Hedgehog?
I don't know.
The Sega company is now.
No, I didn't think so either.
Nintendo bought.
Dan, I didn't think so
Sega.
either. But I swear to you, all the kids in the theater were like, "Did you see that? And did you see that?"
No.
And I was like, "Oh my goodness, this movie hit!
Yes,
this
yes.
movie was hitting the fan base."
I didn't even play Sonic when I was a kid because I had Nintendo.
Well, you clearly didn't have a neighbor who had Sonic. Like, I mean, I had Nintendo, but my neighbor had Sonic, and so we just kind of like, you know. But yeah, I think this movie is a takeout for me. It wasn't a great movie, but it doesn't change the fact that it wasn't meant for me. And I think I just had to settle with this movie was not made for me, but it was at least an enjoyable movie, far better than Fantasy Island. And I would say that if you catch this at home, it's not going to ruin your day. You know, like Fantasy Island did. So I just say that, yeah, watch this movie at home.
Mike?
It is a takeout for me.
There you go.
So,
2 takeouts and 1 dine-in. All right, guys, fight. What I really want to know is, having obviously a CGI cartoon character
Yes.
and humans have been hit or miss. I think the only hit really is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then everything else has been a miss. Really?
Oh, hold on a second. Did
I
you forget
think-
Detective Pikachu?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I did like Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
So how was that interaction with? I mean, I'm gonna go into the style, but I'm gonna ask that much later.
Okay.
But I just want to know overall, how did it work having a CGI character that was a lead, and then the humans should have been animated instead? What did you guys think?
It sure wasn't Detective Pikachu.
It was
just,
not.
it just was not that.
Now I remember, like when we watched the trailers after they redid the look, which again I'll
We'll
talk
get
about
into
that
that.
later.
We'll get to that.
The trailer was funny.
Mm-hmm.
How was the humor as well?
Rigo?
I like the humor. It was again, like you said, what you guys argued. This movie was made specifically for fanboys and for kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the humor was like right on point.
Rigo, you're admitting you're a Sega fanboy or a Sonic fanboy?
I am a Sega fanboy.
And
I've
a
always
child
been
in the mind is what you're saying. Yeah.
everything about it too. It was funny. Like I didn't laugh out loud all the time, but everyone around me was laughing. The kids around me were laughing. The other fanboys were laughing. So I thought the humor was on point. It was just on point. To me, it felt like I was watching my version of the Avengers. I was like, so this is what Dan felt like. You know, like it was great.
Okay.
Like no matter what they would have done, it would have been great.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can kind of agree with Rigo on this. It was, for me, the humor was really bad. It almost felt like it was trying too hard, but then I kept hearing the kids laughing in the room, and I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't trying too hard. It was just trying for a lower bar. And it sure enough kept the kids.
Laughing to kids is not making it a lower bar. A lower bar is like stupid sex jokes or whatever.
No, I meant like silly fart jokes. Like
Oh, okay.
it was similar to that. It was very low bar.
That's a better word than fart jokes, and
hold
not
on.
as opposed to saying like humor for kids is
Hold
low
on.
humor.
No, I'm saying low bar versus low brow. Those are two different things. I'm saying it was low bar as in like it was like barely even like needed humor. Like there's a moment where with a turtle, which I didn't laugh at. But it was clearly a joke made for kids, and I was like, okay, that's kind of funny.
that was probably one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah,
And the kids loved it. They were like laughing out loud.
It checks out, Mike. It checks out.
Dan's like, yep.
but I think
it was a great scene.
it was a great scene. No, I agree with you. It was
don't think
really
that was
really
a
funny.
great- I mean, it's a very straightforward joke.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately my biggest problem with this movie was Jim Carrey. I feel like
Wait, we'll go into that.
Okay, sorry, but we're talking about humor.
And I still want to know how was the CGI with the human interaction?
Are you curious about the turtle? reference?
No.
Okay, so I think the human...
I am, but I do plan on watching it.
It isn't a spoiler. It's in the beginning. But,
Yeah.
Okay, but I won't talk about it. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
so
go ahead.
but yes, the interaction between Sonic the Hedgehog and the humans was done seamlessly. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was done really well.
So then it shouldn't well, never mind.
No.
I would say it shouldn't have been an animation. It was fine the way it was live action.
No, I feel like it needed to be cleaned up. I think the CGI it felt rushed. I think that there were moments in the movie where I was like, this almost feels like I'm watching a cartoon character on screen, and it's not being CGI'd and developed and like making sure that the fur looks real like they did Detective Pikachu. However, I would say that the eye lines when they're directing it, they all matched. They all felt like the character was in the room with them, but it also felt like I was watching a cartoon character and not a like a snuggly animated yellow character like Detective Pikachu that you can just pick up and move around, or to put it more frankly, like they did in The Mandalorian, where it looked like it was something that was in the room. So it feels like CGI. It feels too light, but at a rush job, what were you going to expect, right? They had very little time. This director hasn't done anything beyond this movie aside from short films, so he really needed to scramble very hard, and I think they did the best they could. And with that being said, Rigo liked it. And you know what? Here's the other part too, that if this movie had the CGI like it did from the trailer itself, this would have been Cats. We would not have been able to watch this movie because the CGI would have been so poorly done. And so I think that because it was fixed, although badly, it actually makes the film that much funnier.
Okay, let's go into it then.
Okay.
So for people who don't know, when the original Sonic the Hedgehog trailer came out, people were in uproar because Sonic looked very scary.
Yes.
According to a lot of people on the internet, which they voiced their opinions very loudly. Some people think they were even bullying the studios to change the look of Sonic.
Oh, poor Paramount.
The studio ended up redoing the CGI to make him look more cartoony or more like the video game, and less realistic, I guess. And now, what did you guys do? You think that was the right move? Because that would set a precedent for like fans outraging, which is why I wanted to cover the Batman trailer suit reveal, because now, a lot of fans can have an uproar, and if the students don't listen, there's backlash. Do you think it was worth the change?
Rigo?
Yes, it was worth the change. As far as me having a problem with the original Sonic, I really didn't have a problem with him. I just thought he looked kind of weird, but
there he goes, a point of reference.
Yeah. It was what it was. Like, I was still going to watch the movie, but it obviously paid off because they got the change, and clearly by the box office, people responded by showing up. Does this set up a precedent for more studios doing this? No, because Paramount and Sega this was a calculated risk. It was either going to work or this movie was going to bomb like completely, and it actually worked. Because it did make to me, like I said, it was better for me to see the Sonic that they had on there. Granted, like you said, the CGI wasn't that great, but that was the Sonic that I'm used to seeing. So to me, it was like I related more to that than I would have related to that character that Z's showing me right now on the screen. So I am with it, and I'm glad they did it, and I'm glad they took the extra time to do it. Like, okay, we waited maybe 6 or 7 more months for the movie to come out. Big whoop! It was worth it.
It was, yeah, and I agree. I think it was a bold move. I think it did set a precedent, but you know what? It's a precedent that I think with Rigo saying this, we vote, especially with films, we vote with our wallets, and this was a vote for a more accessible change to a film because it is a fanboy movie. Does it have to be an Oscar contender like Joker? No, but see, the thing about Joker was that it's at its core, it was done really well because the character stayed true to the comic lore. And I think with Sonic, the character's core was there. It just looked haunting in that first iteration, and by changing it, made it that much better. And people actually felt like, "Hey, I'm watching the thing that I loved as a kid," and I think that's far better.
Mike?
Yeah, so one of my favorite things about like characters from other worlds coming here is like the culture clash, or the opposite, where a human goes into this otherworldly place, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity in Sonic, and that was what made it a takeout for me. If they would have explored that more, then I would have enjoyed it more. So, but as far as like CGI, I don't. It didn't look bad. And there was funny moments, but for the most part,
it fell flat.
Yeah, for the most part, it fell flat for me. But that's okay. I know it. That is like a weird balance that they would have to make, where they're trying to make it a hit with the kids, and at the same time, like satisfying like hardcore fans of Sonic. But it seemed to manage to do both. But I did play Sonic a lot. That
was my next question. It was for Z and for. You, Mike, because we know that Rigo is a hardcore fan of Sonic, and D, you mentioned you played it as a kid as well.
Yes.
Were you guys big fans of Sonic growing up?
I was. I did play the first Sonic. I had a Genesis, so I did play the first Sonic as well, and I did have Sonic CD as well, which is cool that they kind of like incorporated the rings, and that's not spoiler. You see it in the trailer,
it's in the trailer.
Where you go into other worlds that actually exists in like some of the other Sonics, which was cool. But I just wish that would have been explored a little more.
Yeah, and I did play the video game growing up. I played it on Sega. I played it on Dreamcast. I think that's where it was released next. Cool. And so like, yeah, I think anything that involved like speed, like even like video games like Need for Speed were fun games to play down on the PlayStation. But yeah, like I think that realistically, what I feel like this movie actually did draw a lot from was from the TV show. The cartoons.
There's been several iterations of TV.
Yeah, and I think that's essentially where we get this core. I mean, obviously it was in the video game, but I think because a lot, especially the younger kids, that's where these kids are actually coming from, is from watching the cartoons, and I think that's really where it pulled from.
All right, okay. So let's talk about Jim Carrey now. It's Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
How did he do? Because people were saying that he was born to play this role. Other people are saying he was over the top.
He was over the top.
So go ahead and let me know what you guys think.
Mike,
I think both of those things are correct.
He's a quantum state of being in both. Yeah. He's both a good actor and a bad actor, like Nick Cage.
I agree that he is born to play this role, and he was also over the top. Both of those things are very
true.
Correct. Both of those things are true. It didn't work for me, but it seemed to work very well for the kids. So I mean,
was he the weakest part of the film?
No.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, I don't think that. Like, I can't completely blame Jim Carrey for it either. It's just like how it was written.
Well, no, it's bad writing is bad directing is what it is. It's like you have a director who's so new that he can't tell Jim Carrey, stop fucking doing that.
It's a mixture of both, but no, it seemed intentional though. Like he's just a very like wacky, eccentric character. Like the way he's literally like a mustache twirling villain.
It's like he does belong in the Sonic universe, but they try to make him into our universe.
Yeah, that's where it felt more out of character. Yeah, that's where for me
he didn't belong in our universe. He should have been like a character from Sonic that comes to our universe.
Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Because the thing is, Sonic feels like he belongs in our universe, just character-wise. He's even doing like the floss dance and everything. But like. Dr. Robotnik, that makes no sense in our universe, and to the point where like the military and all that stuff that kind of gets involved, you're like, somebody please shoot Dr. Robotnik in the head. Like everyone will look away. No one would, like he would not survive. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like in our world, he would not survive. And that's what for me felt like the most over the top, was that his acting was just being pushed to the extreme. Like they were telling him like, go crazy, go do your thing. And Jim Carrey was like, okay, let me go as crazy as, pronouncing my love to an actress online. And it goes that crazy. And you're like, yeah, you need to reel it in. But again, my problem is this. I didn't like it, but the kids loved it.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like,
So, Mike, you liked it then?
I like I could have just seen 2 hours of the turtle scene. I would have been happy.
Yeah, I would.
That would have been a dine in for me. If I know we're being vague, but
which I do appreciate. Actually,
okay, I won't spoil it. But if that would have happened, it would have been a dine in for me.
Yeah.
If they would have been able to recreate that same humor.
Agreed.
And I disagree. I mean, I think yes, like kids will laugh at, as he had described it, as lower bar humor, but I think kids would laugh at like funnier, like easier to understand humor as well, that adults could laugh at as well. And I think the turtle scene was one of those things, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and as an example, the Lego movie was amazing because it played to both audiences. And I think that's what this movie kind of fails a little bit at, is that it doesn't play to both audiences.
And you guys may disagree with me, but I feel like SpongeBob is successful with that as well, where they kind of play with that balance as well of like.
Well, that's a lot of like Pixar stuff too, right? They don't call it a kids film; it's a family film because the whole family can enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is not more of a family film. This is more
a kids film
for kids.
Yeah. And it's weird because they're trying to satisfy like two opposite ends of the spectrum. It's like either just
let's correct that. It's for kids or for like hardcore Sonic fans.
Yeah, exactly, and not like
kid-minded people,
or just not like kind of
the casual audience.
Exactly. Not
normal people.
Normal people. Speaking of not normal people, Rigo, what did you think about Jim Carrey?
I thought it was. I guess it was okay. Like.
Did you enjoy the performance?
Yeah, I thought he was a little bit over the top, but that's him. That's early Jim Carrey if you look at it.
Yeah, I agree with you. He almost didn't it kind of feel like what was that fireman
Fire Marshal Bill.
It kind of did feel like that. I'm okay with it, especially like say if there is a sequel, the direction it's taking, because I know this is. I'm not going to talk about it, but there is a post-credit scene.
There's two post-credits.
Yeah. Well, that's mine. I have two questions, and then I'm going to wrap it up. But my first question is: did they set up a sequel?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And my second, I guess this might be in the post scenes, or not. But I don't think it's a spoiler. Just a yes or no. Do we see Tails?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But here's the thing. Okay, so
Tails looks scary.
No, she looks great.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, he looks great. It's a he, right? Tails is a he, not a she.
I believe so.
I never.
So
honestly,
Tails is. I think
I was a fan.
That's a great question.
I think Tails is a boy.
No, it is a boy. I know this because I researched.
His name is Miles. No, Miles Tails. No.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
yeah.
right.
And there's also. Do we see Knuckles?
You see Knuckles'
No.
tribe. You don't see Knuckles himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just curious.
No Knuckles.
But here's the thing, though. Okay, so and this is my final thing. And again, once again, I get it. Not made for me.
Wait,
but
hold on.
But
Final
Dan,
thoughts.
Yes.
So, go on.
But Dan, you can write this movie. For example, and I guarantee it because I wrote this movie in my head and I said it out loud.
I was like, are you insulting my writing skills?
Yeah, I think he is.
No.
He's insulting your writing.
I'm insulting the writers of this movie because I can
write it.
Yes. Yes.
It was so terrible,
It's a
Dan.
double.
It was like, it's so terrible, Dan. You could have wrote it.
No. What I meant by that is that anybody can write this movie because this movie
It's
literally.
so terrible. I thought you wrote it.
So Dan, how do you think this movie begins?
Voiceover.
Voiceover or no voiceover?
Oh yeah, voiceover.
Absolute voiceover. Do you feel like this movie ends with voiceover or no voiceover?
Voiceover.
Okay. Do you know how this movie ends with the bad guy?
Being locked up.
No, you see it in the trailer. That's the part that really frustrated me. That the trailer revealed a lot of things in this movie.
I think Dan hit the nail on the head when he said that Dr. Robotnik should have been from another world.
Yeah.
And I think you were absolutely right, Dan.
Thanks, Mike. I like to knock
He
it.
did write it.
I did. Well, I'm writing the sequel right now.
Yeah.
Dan sent them the notes. They didn't listen. You should have screamed louder, Dan. They probably would have listened to you.
Yeah.
No, I was angry fans by myself.
But I think it would have made a difference as far as like I think people would have. It would have been easier to enjoy Jim Carrey's over the top performance.
I agree.
If he was very clearly not human.
Yeah. I just feel like this movie could have done a lot better with its storytelling, but
Sure.
in the hands that it was in, I don't know if people were just trying to stay away from this movie, but I really wish that they put some better talent in the writing shoes. It just felt like it wasn't trying hard, and that's my problem.
The chemistry between the husband and wife was strange to me.
Yeah, it was all like all the, and I feel like the acting was, especially Dan. You didn't even talk about the other actors in this movie, but
there's other.
Yes, I know. There's.
They really. I mean, James Marsden, I guess, is when I talked about originally, like, how did Sonic go on with it? It was mainly with James Marsden.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if there was a lot of scenes with Sonic and the other humans, but I know for sure James Marsden is with Sonic. And I guess I should have talked about
he did a good job though.
The story overall, the story overall work with Sonic coming into our world, and then they're doing a road trip of some sort because I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, it just almost felt like, and again, I don't know whether or not to write this off as they were writing for a younger audience, or like for me, just watching was like everyone in this world are idiots. Everyone in this world were idiots, including James Marsden's character.
That's not a far stretch, though.
But you know what I mean? Like everybody in this movie, to the like the secret security or whatever else.
I think what you mean is that there's no grounded character.
Yes,
that you can believe in. They're all
James Marsden is not the grounded character.
They're all. Everybody in here is cartoony. This is a cartoon world. Like it's kind of cartoony in the same way that like the Lego world. Like each person that exists in this world is a character.
Well, except the Lego world had a real except
there's no grounded character to make it feel real. So like typically what happens is there's like even in comedy like you have this like the wacky wild card, and you have this like straight grounded character to play off of, and it's the contrast between the two that makes you enjoy it more. And I think in this it's just there's wackiness happening everywhere.
Yeah.
So and it hurts the film ultimately.
Yeah, because it really
for me.
Because it really doesn't feel like I can grasp on it into any character and be like, oh, that's the person that I want to identify with. Like I wanted to identify with James Marsden, but okay, fine. I think I agree with Mike saying of everyone here is very cartoony, and everybody in this movie, I was just kind of like, I don't understand what world you're trying to show. And I think because of that, this movie could have been an animation and it would have been fine.
Yeah, I think you're right, Z.
Yeah.
Or if Dr. Robotic would have came from another universe.
Yeah.
I could have made this movie so much better. All right, Rigo, final thoughts?
Just go watch it if you just want to see something fun. If you don't want to see Fantasy Island, just go watch it.
You know what? In a week in which Fantasy Island is also released, this movie is the top movie to watch in theaters.
I will say this.
There's another movie that came out this weekend that we didn't review. Is Down the Hill with Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, shoot, that came out?
Yeah, it came out this weekend.
Oh, I need to watch that. That one looks fun.
So maybe watch that one.
Yeah.
I will say this though. Before I appreciated all the little things they did in this movie, like the use of the rings, the music. They actually, if you pay attention, they actually use like music from all the video games in the movie.
So Junkie XL made the soundtrack for this.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was like, whoa, that's this song, that's this song. So they did little things here and there that only the fanboys.
Junkie XL did the score?
That's right.
That's pretty awesome.
It is. He did it under his actual name. I think maybe he's dropping Junkie XL, but yeah, he did do the soundtrack. I did listen to it on the way over here, and it's a really fun soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I appreciated that. I appreciated all the small stuff they did.
Thanks for mentioning that, Rigo. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
Mike, final thoughts?
Yeah, you could wait to watch it at home, really.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. I think I had enough. I think I wrote a better film. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't disagree.
I think this movie might be more enjoyable watching it at home with like family. So I'm gonna go with Takeout. I think you guys made a good points to not have to watch it in theaters, wait and watch it at home, and Takeout it is.
Yeah.
So we go with The Leftovers for Fantasy Island and Takeout for Sonic the Hedgehog. Interesting weekend.
It was a bad weekend. I watched both of them. They were not the best.
Well, thank you, Rigo, our special correspondent, for
Thank
being
you guys
on
for
the
having
show. We really appreciate you being here. Also, I just want to give a quick information, not shout out, but so much, but information that we were interviewed by Voyage LA. If you would like to read the article, it'll be posted on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Or you could go to voyagela.com, and in the Hidden Gems section, we are in the East LA collection. So head on down, and we would like to thank Richard Alexander Hernandez, who we interviewed on our podcast, who gave us a recommendation. We appreciate it. Also, make sure to check us out again on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our website, moviemaniapodcast.com. We will be live next week with the all-new episode. Thank you so much, Z. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you, Dan.
I'm Dan the Man. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are there. Until next time, guys. See you later. Thank you. Goodbye.
2, 3, 4.
Sorry, I had to take your shit. I'm sorry. I got that.